Oh, discipline and the game. As soon as they get caught up in erratic umpiring decisions or a parent from the opposition creating a yelling match against our club, for example, they lose sight of what their job is. So the discipline is really important. I can't stand people that the discipline aspect of their behaviour supersedes the game. They're not worthy of being a coach. They're not worthy of being in our great game. And the worst thing about that, if the coach gets away with it, then the players think they can get away with it too. And then that transcends to bigger issues. And that's what we don't want. Kids have got to be taught how to be disciplined, how to enjoy the game, but most importantly be directed in the right way to play the game the way it should be played.
Look, you don't want them, again, directing individuals out in front of parents, in front of kids. Pull them aside later on, at the break or whatever it is, and have a quiet conversation with them. Positive. You just got to be positive all around. Yes, you need to actually identify where you're probably not doing so well and ask the boys to actually, or girls to do that, to improve in that. But the behaviours you want to see is not yelling and ranting, especially in under 16s and downwards. You want to be able to be collected, cool, and actually get the message across clearly. Yelling and screaming doesn't get messages around. So I guess in terms of that, coaches need to be actually, they set the scene. If the coach is yelling and screaming, well, you're going to have parents yelling and screaming as well. So a coach sets the scene there. You want him to be cool, calm and collective.
I think that particularly in junior football, that the young people need to see role modelling that you would want them to see out in normal society. So in a functioning society, we don't yell at people, we don't scream, we're not overly aggressive. So I personally don't think that should be accepted on the football field or on the sidelines. So I think that coaches should be facilitating as much as possible a learning environment on game day, and something that doesn't intimidate or frustrate the opposition team as well. I think that you genuinely can have a competitive game of football but be amicable towards the other team at the same time.
Yeah, I think the fun and enjoyment. You want to see coaches smiling, you want to see them positive reinforcement of their players, and actually, enjoying it themselves, and that'll have a reflection in their playing group. We shouldn't be seeing coaches riding the bumps and getting emotional and getting upset and aggravated by what's happening on the field. I think if they can stay calm and in control, that's going to have a positive effect on their players. And I think really important, one of the best coaches that I've seen at junior level was when Peter Schwab was helping out at Ashburton, and a quarter-time break, he had something positive to say about nearly every player on the field, and rather than getting caught up in everything, I think just focusing on your playing group and getting the best out of them and making sure they're enjoying themselves. I think that's key.
Love to see a supportive coach, one that composure. Kids can be hard coaching juniors, and if you've come from an elite level as a coach, keep understanding what you're trying to get out of it, set yourself some really simple KPIs, and not get caught up too much in the mistakes, but in more the effort and what the kids are doing, and coach the good points. Almost like a 3-to-1 rule, I reckon. If you try and coach more positives than negatives, and don't necessarily take the win-loss out of it, and coach what you're trying to achieve as a team.
On the players mostly, and actually there's a lot of things. So in terms of the roles of your assistant coaches and parents, etc., that needs to be on your front of your mind, but also on the things that as a group you're trying to work on. So different structures, different little skill acquisitions, all the little small KPIs that I spoke about before. That's really the focus of game day, is whether your team's improving.
I think different levels. So if you're a head coach, I think you should, and you've set the guys some, not necessarily KPIs from a younger age, but you've got what you're trying to achieve as a team, then keep bringing yourself back to that. So whatever it is you're delivering before the game that you want the players to focus on, how we want to play as a team, it might be really simple tackles, or it might be block, whatever it might be, something that everyone can do, then keep bringing yourself back to that. I think it's important that whatever you deliver pre-game, that you keep following up with the players, and hopefully that's something that all players at a younger age can do, because obviously they're all at different skill levels, but keep it so that everyone can achieve what you're trying to set out to do.
Well, we see everyone going down the AFL line of breaking up into their zones. I think that the best way to do it is that in the junior league, in junior competition, under 15s all the way down, maybe under 17s, there are a lot of different, everyone plays in different areas. So I think that you don't need to break it down to 3 areas. I think the best thing is for maybe your assistant coach to talk to the boys first or the girls first, let you give it a little bit more think time, and then you address them at the end. One thing that must happen, in my opinion, is that the last voice they need to hear is the coach's voice. Not an assistant voice, not a team manager's voice, not a parent's voice. The last voice they need to hear is the actual head coach's voice.
In reality, and I think back to my playing days, the players actually don't take a lot in at quarter time and 3/4 time. So keep your messaging really simple. It might be 3 main points. The big fad at the moment is break up into groups and try and do that. So you want to make sure that your assistant coaches are delivering the same message that you're about to impart on them as a collective group as well. So I'd be really simple. Look, you can back it up with stats if you need to, but at the end of the day, you think about when you're playing, you went back out there and the ball comes down, how much of that do you remember? So 3 or 4 really clear, simple points where you're going well, what you want to improve in. Make sure your assistant coaches are reinforcing that in their line groups. And at the end of the day, you can revisit at half time or after the game and sort of get some player input to see how we're going.
Yeah, I think if you've got the luxury of having line coaches, to start off with them being able to speak to where they've played, so mids, forwards, backs. But either way, something that I do every quarter time, half time break is that I ask the girls in their groups to give me one thing that they think they're doing well, one thing they think they can improve. So it's about that sort of active learning for the young people, making sure that it's not just you talking at them for the whole break, but you're trying to involve them in the conversation to make them actively think about what they can do throughout the game.
Yeah, I think for junior coaching, if you're on the sidelines, as players come off, is a great time, or before they go on, just give them some simple instruction, some positive reinforcement, really important. I think while players are playing, use your runner to send those messages out. If it's an area to improve, be careful not to yell at it across the ground so everyone can hear. Let the runner go up and just do it quietly or discreetly. Generally keep things positive as much as you can. I mean, you'll understand your players as a coach, and some want the honest truth and some want it a little bit sugar-coated. So just knowing the group that you've got. But stay positive with it. I mean, it is. The players are out there for fun. They're giving it their best shot. They're not doing anything to undermine the coach. So just make sure you keep it positive, and that'll help your environment. That'll help the growth of your players.